ICTC Connellsville offers a flexible program designed for real life, combining in-person classes, hybrid learning, and clinical experiences at sites close to home. But don't wait, spots are limited and filling fast. Classes meet just 2 evenings a week from 5 to 9 p.m., plus daytime clinicals every Friday and every other Saturday. Graduates can also earn college credits and gain advanced standing to continue up the nursing career ladder. With a 97% pass rate on licensure exams, now is the time to secure your place for the August start date. Federal financial aid and PA CareerLink funding are available for those who qualify. To learn more or apply today, visit indianacountytechnologycenter.edu/practical nursing.
We've stepped up our game at Live Casino with new slot machines. And this June, you're invited to take them for a spin during Pull and Win Wednesdays. Earn 100 tier credits to score 5 free spins that you can use on one of our new slots. Each week features a new machine. Come in, play on, and find your new favorite. At Live Casino, Route 30 at Westmoreland Mall. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Stays compass. I got no direction now. I'm gonna find my way somehow. Billy on this tightrope. I'm stuck in between the here and now, and I'm trying to figure out.
And now we welcome Wendy O'Brien from the Proden and O'Brien Law Firm, and of course Josh Kryzak here from WMBS, and this is A Couple of Things with Wendy and Josh.
Hi, Josh.
Hi, Wendy.
How are you?
I'm doing good. I'm excited. So Wendy always comes prepared. She has dressed the part.
Yep, red, white, and blue.
That's right. She's ready to go.
We're going to celebrate Independence Day today. A little
I
bit
love
early.
it. I love
But,
it.
You know, I like to keep it a little bit themed.
You do. You always do.
Hopefully our listeners won't be too bored with some history lessons today.
No, I'm
about the
excited
law.
about it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So if it's your first time joining us, hopefully not, but if it is your first time joining us for A Couple of Things with Wendy and Josh, this is Wendy O'Brien from Proden and O'Brien Law. She comes in, we talk about all kinds of little things that involve the law. We don't give legal advice.
No
but
legal
we
advice.
do kind of help guide you. If you're thinking about an attorney, say, yeah, you should maybe call, or give you some different things to think about as you're exploring different things that might be happening in your life.
Right.
So, Wendy, if somebody wants to get a hold of you and Proden and O'Brien, what do they need to do?
So just give us a call. Our number is 724-437-3484. We're located 2 buildings before the courthouse on Main Street. Stop and see us. It's 99 East Main Street. Send us an email. My email is o'brienwl@prodenlaw.com. Send me an email.
Do it. She can help you. And as I've said before, she gets my stamp of approval because she listens to you. You can tell that she has the knowledge of what her field is, but she also doesn't make you feel stupid. That's a special thing. It is a special thing because sometimes you get an attorney that's very competent, but they make you feel dumb, though.
I mean, there's attorneys out there that talk to me and try to make me feel stupid. I had that happen to me today with an out-of-county attorney.
Yeah.
And the way she talked to me, I was just baffled. Why do we do that to each other?
Yeah, it's just not. It's not fun.
No, we all have. This is my area. Let me explain it to you in terms you will understand, and let's get you through it. Right?
Yeah, absolutely.
We don't need to talk down to each other.
And that's why they're a great place to start if you're having questions. So I looked at our outline.
Yes.
Freedom, rights, and the Constitution, why the 4th of July still matters, but it says there's an announcement.
Yeah, so before we get into our topic, which is obviously going to be 4th of July related, and I want to talk about the U.S. Constitution and why we have to, know about it and why it is still important to us and still very relevant. But before we do, I have a big announcement, and I wish Sean could have been here today.
Yeah.
Because we, on June 1st, we made Sean a partner. At
Oh,
Proden
my
and O'Brien.
goodness.
Yeah, so we'll
Congratulations,
be
Sean.
Yeah, we'll be Proden, O'Brien, and Lemontowski now moving
That's
forward.
fantastic.
Yeah, we're very excited for him.
That's wonderful. And I know Wendy better than Sean, but I have had a chance to meet Sean. He was at the Best and Fayette reception this past year. I've seen him a couple other places as well. Extremely nice. Their crew there, too, and I know Jeff from years back. They've got a good mix of people.
Yeah.
And Sean really fits in well. He's kind of like the yin to the yang kind of thing.
He
I
is.
see you guys playing off each other very well.
Yeah,
It's a fun office,
He's
I
a
would
great
guess.
addition, and if you have any kind of legal concerns, give him a call.
Yeah.
He'd be happy to meet with you and sit down with you.
So
and
he's
see what
taking
we
on
can do.
taking on clients.
He's handling. He actually does a little bit of business law. He does a lot of our civil defense work, civil prosecution work, and custody divorce.
That's
Yeah.
fantastic. So congratulations to Sean
Yeah,
Lemontowski.
I tried to get him to come today, but he's actually out of town today.
Oh,
so
well,
couldn't be here.
he could always come as a guest
Yeah, I'll
anytime.
make him come
And
sometime.
we'll have to keep our eyes open for those new logos. I'm sure they'll come at
Yes,
some point.
we're-
So
I think it's a good time because
Yes,
Festive
it's
Fayette time,
coming up.
So we're gonna have new logos out. for
I'm
that.
excited about it. So
Yeah.
that's awesome. All right.
Yeah.
So talk to me.
Okay. So when we think about 4th of July, we're thinking about fireworks
Right.
and cookouts and hanging out with family and summertime and watermelon and all the
good
picnic
stuff.
food. Yeah. But do we ever stop and think about, what does that actually mean? And this is a big year for us. 250
Right.
years we're celebrating the United States.
Yeah. It's a big
so,
deal.
Yeah. So what are we celebrating? What are we
Right.
actually celebrating? And I want to talk about that.
Yeah.
What exactly were our founding fathers fighting for
Right.
back then? Why does that matter?
Right.
And it matters because we still need those rights that they fought for initially.
Yes.
But I think the reasons why, and we'll get into this later, but the reasons why they're still relevant are a little different from what
Sure.
they started, but they're
They still
extremely
apply.
Oh, it's still very, very relevant.
And I think that people may be surprised if they're not in the law field and they're not in these type of things. These are things that still apply every day.
right.
The principles that they fought for are things that you still are applying in your
That's-
everyday job.
That's exactly right. They weren't just separating from Britain. They were establishing a set of principles about freedom, about government, about our rights that we still use today and we still need today. And
Yeah.
they're very important to us.
Yeah,
So, and
to-
especially as a criminal defense attorney,
Yeah.
these are things that we see every day. I had about 4 or 5 different types of hearings before I came here today. I haven't stopped.
You've
I
seen
didn't
it all.
I didn't even have lunch today because the one courtroom, Judge Cordero, she went straight through lunch. So
Oh boy.
yeah, so I've been very busy.
Thanks, Linda.
Yeah, but that's fine. That's fine. Judges, she can do what she wants.
Yeah, that's right.
But all of these things are so important, and I just saw them a little bit today in everything that we did. So
Yeah.
we'll talk about rights to counsel,
Right.
rights to remain silent, your rights to confront your witnesses, rights against unreasonable searches. None of these were accidents. They all have a history lesson behind them. So I hope I don't bore you too much with the history.
No, I'm
I
excited.
was never like a big fan of history in school, but
This is different. This
Yeah.
is anybody who's an American, and if you haven't really got on the 250th bandwagon, you should, because it's a big
for
deal.
Sure. I'm
We-
so excited about
We
it.
live in a free country, and no matter what your day-to-day politics are and stuff like that, this is a big deal. 250 years of being free
Yeah.
and being able to make our own decisions about stuff, big stuff.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. So let me ask you this: when was the last time you actually pulled out like the Declaration of Independence or
No.
the U.S. Constitution and read it?
Never.
No, you did in school.
Yeah,
You had
maybe.
to
All
have
right,
in
school.
So probably elementary
School,
school,
probably
middle
school, yeah, middle school,
maybe high
maybe.
school. I don't.
If there was some special project, maybe.
Yeah.
It's been a long time.
People don't look at it and don't think about it.
No.
But there's one term that probably most people, if you heard someone say it, you'd say, "Oh yeah, that's from the Declaration of
Sure.
Independence."
Sure.
And that's we hold these truths to be self-evident.
I love that
right?
line.
We hold
Yeah.
these truths to be self-evident. And that's still, very relevant
Yeah.
today.
Yeah.
Basically, what our forefathers were doing is, they were creating a list of grievances they had against Britain,
Right.
and they wanted to make sure that us, as U.S. citizens, separate from Britain, that would never happen again.
Right.
And I guess maybe we'll just start going through.
I'm
them.
ready. I'm
Okay.
excited about it. I'm actually into this.
Okay, good. That's good. Well, some of the grievances, were taxation without representation.
a big one.
Denial of jury trials, transporting colonists overseas for trial. Can
Wow.
you imagine that?
No.
Not having a right to a jury of your of your peers.
Yeah.
That's important.
It
and,
is.
And our founding fathers established that.
Yeah.
Because that's exactly what was happening to colonists. If you were accused of a crime, the British government was shipping you across the sea to be tried over there.
which is just bizarre.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Wow.
obviously the taxation,
That's big.
yeah, that's huge. Arbitrary government interference and military power over civilian authority. So the arbitrary military interference. I mean, they could just walk into your house at any point. They used colonist homes for stations. They would just live there.
So
eat
again,
their food.
it goes back to to the kind of like separation of church and state too. Just because you're the military doesn't mean you should just be able to walk right in and do whatever you
Correct.
want.
Yeah.
There has to be laws governing it.
And when I was writing this, I was even thinking to myself, so yeah, like where does that line even get drawn
Yeah.
with government? Just think locally, how many different levels of government we have. Yeah, we have our president and our Congress and
Right.
our, a judiciary, our federal government.
Sure.
But what about just locally? Like here, if you live in the city of Uniontown, you have, a board and a mayor and like police department. So these individuals, we're just going to let them just walk into our house whenever they want
Yeah.
for no reason. That's what our colonists were experiencing.
Right. So it was essentially, while there weren't actually laws or governs around how that was happening, it felt like an abuse of power.
Yeah.
And it
Yeah.
was.
Yeah.
So then we saw our opportunity to say, okay, when we do this, we're going to make sure we're not doing it this way.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And one thing that really stuck out to me when I was preparing for this is how much our founding fathers really thought forward or thought ahead when it came to criminal justice, being
Yeah.
accused of a crime.
Yeah.
Because at that point, the criminals, and a lot of people complain about it, but criminals have rights. And I think we're going to talk about that today
Good.
a lot. Why do they have rights?
I think that's again extremely important point that sometimes even today, 250 years removed, gets glossed
Yeah.
over. Because once you are accused of something, you're almost guilty in our society.
Yeah, it's
It
almost a
stinks.
stigmatism.
Thank God the actual system is there to like catch it and save it if they aren't guilty.
Mhm.
But you're always going to be dealing with that public opinion. You're always going to be dealing with it. So this is the people trying to say, yeah, okay, they might have done it, but we have to find out for sure.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So the best example I found of this was John Adams,
Yes.
President of the United States,
Yes.
in the Boston Massacre. On March 5th, 1770,
Okay.
British soldiers fired into a hostile crowd of colonists.
Okay.
And 5 colonists end up dying. Of course, there was public outrage, right?
Of course.
So the soldiers become, the most hated people in Boston. And then, they think they should just be hung on the courthouse steps and that's it, right? I mean,
Yeah.
Guilty immediately. But John Adams steps forward and he offers them a defense
I love it.
and he represents them. And of course, he gets a ton of criticism.
Yeah.
Why on earth would he, represent someone like this?
Yeah.
I get it too, and I don't.
That's
I
what I was
mean,
gonna ask you.
If you watch Facebook and on neighborhood crime watch and whatever, if someone's accused of something and then they find out who the attorney is, of course we're sleazebags too, and I think that's very unfortunate
It
that
is.
people would say things
It's
like that.
unfair
It is unfair
because you're providing them their constitutional right to defense.
Yeah, it's not at all that attorneys agree with the crime.
Right.
I mean, of course, I would never,
Correct.
want or advocate for someone to commit a crime.
Correct.
However, everybody in the United States, no matter whom you are, has a right to counsel
Correct.
if you are accused of a crime.
Right.
And my goodness, the worst thing that could ever happen to you is you be accused of some egregious thing and be facing criminal, justice and not have the opportunity to have a counsel, an attorney.
It would
It's
be
so
overwhelming.
important.
It would be overwhelming for the average citizen to have that happen because they
Yeah.
don't understand the law.
Nope.
It's not their job to understand the law. And the counsel, it's important. And again, to draw a straight line in the public, and this is where I'm defending people like my friend Wendy, to draw that straight line that if they are defending somebody that you feel is icky or you think might be guilty, that's what you think. You don't know that for sure, first of all. And secondly, it's their right to have her or have someone represent them and guide them through the process.
John Adams said that he felt the rule of law mattered more than public opinion, and I think that all the time.
Yeah.
It's more important that this person have representation
That's right.
to navigate this very complex system
That's right.
that is not always straightforward,
Right.
and is I think often made full of obstacles
Mhm.
to cause trouble along the way for individuals accused of crimes.
Yeah.
But he felt that was more important to make sure you
I
had
love it.
adequate representation.
Yeah,
and that still stands so relevant today.
I agree. And there's a great quote you have in here.
Yeah.
He stated, "Facts are stubborn things."
Yeah, isn't that something? Facts are stubborn things. So think about that.
Yeah.
What did he mean by that? He meant at the end of the day, I don't care who you are.
Yep.
If you're accused of a crime, you have the right to an attorney. I don't care what the crime is.
Yep.
That doesn't matter.
Yep.
It's out there. It exists. And
Right.
I mean, one of the most egregious crimes you could ever be, accused of, which is killing people, that is what these British
Right.
soldiers were accused of. They were still entitled to representation.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's fascinating, and I think that's the key. That no matter what, and if the person is guilty, then that's going to bear out as the facts come out in
course,
trial. It's
yeah.
going to bear out. That's what's going to happen. So, but them having someone to counsel them and help them understand what's happening is only going to be part of a civil. That's the only way we're going to be a civilized society.
Our job as defense attorneys is not to trick the jurors
Yeah.
or trick the court
Yeah.
into, finding not guilty.
Right.
Our job is to ensure a fair trial
Correct.
and fair review of the evidence
Yep.
happens and takes place for every individual.
I agree.
And you got to look at it from that perspective. If someone is found guilty after a fair review of the evidence, then the process has worked.
Yeah.
I mean, it might not be the verdict you want for yourself or your client or whomever, but you have to believe in the process.
Yeah.
And vice versa.
I agree.
If we expose problems with the evidence, which there are often problems with evidence, or there's unreliable evidence,
Yes.
or contrary evidence or contradictory evidence. There's so many things there could be, but it's our job not to make a personal opinion decision
Right.
on the allegations. It is to advocate to make sure your client has a fair trial.
Yep.
Now, I hope that if nothing else, we take away that we're not scumbags.
No.
we're actually trying. We have a job.
That's
and
correct.
We have a duty to the rule of law
That's correct.
that our founding fathers put forth.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that it's very important. And hopefully, our listeners and those that catch this show later, they really can make that distinction. I know that a lot of people do, but there are some that don't. And you need to realize that is not the case. Attorneys are performing a service to help safeguard our democracy by
Perfectly said. Yeah.
by
That's
defending
what it is.
people and giving them the opportunity to have someone to discuss what's happening to them with. It's literally that. I mean, they just need someone to help guide them through the system.
Yeah.
And that's what it is.
And it's a shame. I think this is where social media really has, I think, caused issues
Sure.
with the criminal process, because I do think a lot of people do get tried in the
Mm-hmm.
court of social media,
They do.
and it's not fair.
It is not fair. It's not right. And we're human beings. We all can fall prey to having immediate thoughts on what may or may not have happened. But in the end, you have to let the system play out. The system is there for a reason to ensure that we put the right bad guys in jail or get them in trouble or whatever the case may be, and the wrong ones we do not.
Yeah.
And that's what it all boils down to. And Wendy's a key part of that. But before we keep going, because we are flying as usual.
Sorry.
No, it's good.
I see
So
that.
you're listening to a couple of things with Wendy and Josh. I'm Josh Krysak. She is Wendy O'Brien. She's from Proden, O'Brien, and Lemontowski.
Got it.
And I was so excited to say that. So congratulations to Sean. But Wendy, if they want to get in touch with you to talk about, maybe they're one of the people dealing with it, and they need somebody to say, hey, I need help.
Just want
How-
another set of eyes
how-
on your
yeah,
case.
yeah.
Give us a call. We're happy to sit down with you, go through your documents, your evidence, and talk to you about it. Give us a call, 724-437-3484. We're 2 buildings before the courthouse, Main Street, 99 East Main. Stop in. We'll get you scheduled for an appointment.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you are interested in these shows, you ever want to go back and find them, they're on WMBS's Facebook page for a month. And then once WMBS times out, they go to our YouTube archive. So you can always find all our back episodes as well. And we talk about a lot of fun stuff.
We
so
do.
We really
yeah.
do.
We have some good
We
topics.
do.
We have fun. I don't know.
I have a great time.
I
I
don't
feel
know if
like I'm
anybody
back in
likes it,
debate
but-
class. I don't care. It's
Yeah,
fun. They
we have fun.
we're gonna enjoy it. That's all that matters.
All
so
right, you want to move on? to
yeah,
the
let's
Fourth
do
Amendment?
it. Let's do it.
Okay, so why the founding fathers hated governmental searches?
I'm ready for
Let's
this.
talk about
Yeah.
that. So back in colonial days, they had a thing called writs of assistance. And these were broad warrants that allowed the government officials to come and search your home and your businesses, not just your homes, at any time they wanted. They could just come in and search and no questions asked.
That's not okay.
No. That's what we were. I mean, we said earlier. Like, can you just imagine? I don't know. The mayor of Uniontown just knocking on your door. I'm coming in, and just walk through your house and do.
You would
whatever
never
want.
be able to hold anyone accountable. You
And
would never.
I don't want to point out the mayor for any negative.
Yeah.
I don't. He would never do that.
No, that was an
saying he would.
example.
Yes.
Just an example.
Yeah, I don't want anybody.
No, but
offended by that.
no, and we're in Uniontown. She was using it as an
Yeah.
example. There's no issues there, but I agree. Whatever municipality you're in, all of a sudden the person that's like in charge
Yeah.
or one of the leaders just comes in. I'm going to go through your stuff.
Yeah. Just
That's
randomly.
it's not okay.
No, and that's what was happening, and the colonists viewed that as a obvious abuse of power, and one founder even described it as being among the greatest threats to liberty.
Yeah.
I mean, it's your right to privacy. right?
Yes.
So the Fourth Amendment was clearly designed to protect against that, and we've talked before about probable cause.
Yes.
We've talked about search warrants.
We have.
We've talked about, what's required to get a search warrant,
Yes.
what's required, as far as what is probable cause and how much is needed. And then, so these things were all established by the Fourth Amendment.
Yeah.
And,
I think this ties back, and we'll touch on it real quick. I think something that I found very interesting and important for that when we had our probable cause conversation and our search warrant conversation is also a misnomer out there is that Wendy and people that are attorneys are anti-police in some way.
yeah,
That's not true. They absolutely recognize that police are also serving a vital function to secure our society, keep us
100%.
safe, and they work hand in hand with them all the time.
I'm glad you brought that up because,
Yeah.
I mean, I'm a resident of Fayette County.
Yes.
I have children in
Yes.
Fayette County. I have family in Fayette County.
Yes.
I respect and I 100% believe every portion of our government serves a valid purpose.
Correct.
We just talk about, aspects of the law
Correct.
that, we see from time to time.
Yes.
I'm not saying in any negative
No.
thing about
And
any
I
of
just
our-
think it's important. And this
Yeah.
is good. This is a good
Sorry.
episode. No, you're fine. It's a good episode to kind of dispel some of those
clarify
things.
that.
Yeah, those are clarifiers that need to be made
Yeah.
because that's not ever
No.
in my experience with attorneys in Fayette County. There's none of them that are walking around that are like not police friendly. And again, I'm not saying
No.
like they're best friends, but they recognize they have an important role to play
They do.
and they respect them.
And it's a hard job what they have. It's a
Absolutely.
very hard
Just
job.
like being a defense attorney is a hard job.
100%. I do not at
Yeah.
all in any way want to put them down or discredit them in any way whatsoever.
Yeah, but
they do a valid job and they have a very important purpose.
Correct. But just like the founders recognized that government searches could be used in ways that were inappropriate,
Yeah.
that's part of what a defense attorney is going to do and make sure that you're not having those kind of things happen to you.
Yeah, and that's
Because
I mean,
people can be overzealous. Doesn't matter how good you are. It can't happen.
I just think it just baffles my mind. 250 years ago, they thought of this.
Yeah.
And it's still so important to us.
Yeah.
Because I mean, we would just be subject to whatever government wants whenever they want.
Yeah, absolutely.
But they saw that as a problem so long ago. And,
Yeah.
And corrected it.
Yeah, it's amazing. That's really interesting. So what is our next one?
Okay.
All right.
We've talked about this before too. The right to remain silent. Our
Yes.
Fifth Amendment. Everybody says, "I plead the Fifth," right? That's a common saying. But I do think that this is one of the most misunderstood
Yeah.
constitutional rights.
Yeah.
Because people think that, you never have to talk, or you should never say anything, or you should only not talk when you're guilty. Right? So,
Yeah.
so don't say anything because you're guilty. No, I think you should consider not talking even if you're innocent.
Correct.
Sometimes. It depends on the circumstances.
You don't know what's happening.
You just always have a right not to talk. And that's the one thing I can tell you with my criminal clients. Very frequently, when we go to that first stage, the preliminary hearing,
Yeah.
the first thing they want to do is get in there and tell their side of it.
Right.
And that is a big no-no.
Right.
You don't testify at your
Keep it
preliminary
zipped.
hearing because it's never your job to present evidence. You don't have to prove a case against yourself.
Right.
Whereas if you do testify, if you do say something, anything you say can and will be used against you.
Right.
Even if you're just saying maybe that I was there, but
Right.
I didn't do this.
Right.
Okay.
But
well,
now you've opened
you
it up.
put yourself there.
You've opened
right?
it up.
So
Yep.
you don't want to give them any elements.
Correct.
It's a practical tactic and defense method that you have to talk about with an attorney.
Yeah.
But for the most part, I think it's best policy not to talk unless and until you have talked to an attorney.
Yeah. So
If you
remaining
can-
silent, very key.
Yeah, there is a presumption of innocence in our law, and that's based on the Fifth Amendment, that you do not have to speak, you do not have to provide evidence against yourself.
Yeah.
And honestly, like mistakes can be made.
Right.
Things can be misinterpreted, things can be taken out of context, and you and I, as crime junkies,
Yeah.
we know how many times false
It happens.
admissions come out.
It happens.
Because after hours and hours of interrogation, we hear these stories
It
where
does.
they just give in.
It's wild to me. I still can't grasp it, but I see that it does happen.
Yeah.
Because I don't think I would ever break, but maybe after 15 hours I would. I don't know.
15 hours, nothing to drink, nothing to eat.
You just start to feel nuts, and you're like, "Yes, I did it."
Yeah, I mean, well, I think I've told this story before too. I've actually heard during voir dire where the judges talk to the jurors.
Yeah.
That one of the questions they ask the jurors: would you be more inclined to believe a police officer over any other person? And a lot of people say yes.
Yeah.
And it's because they are a police officer.
Because they're holding them to the higher standard that they believe that they have.
So then a subsequent question the judge will ask when someone answers affirmatively on that, they'll say, okay, you're driving your car down the street, you see the red light, it is green, and you travel through the red light that you believe to be green. You saw it, you know it's green, you went through the intersection, no problem. You get up the street and a police officer pulls you over.
Right.
And the police officer tells you you just ran a red light. Even though you know it was green,
Yes.
are you going to believe the police officer?
No.
Even though you know it's green.
No.
There's jurors that will say, yes,
Oh my.
I will believe the police officer. And
See, that's almost like a mental disorder.
well, it's like a high respect. They're held.
And
in,
it's great.
Their statements are held in such high regard.
And I like that. I respect police. A ton of my friends are police.
Yeah.
But honestly, if one of my friends who was an officer was the one who pulled me over, and I know that I just went through a green light and they say it's red, I'm willing to go to the mat and say, nope, we don't see eye to eye on this. We'll figure it out.
That's not everybody though, Josh.
That's
A
just
lot-
crazy.
A lot
That's
of people are
wild.
just so intimidated by, what a police officer is telling you.
Yeah.
Reality is, you will change your
Wild.
beliefs, your own beliefs that you are very sure of. You will change, and that can include,
Which
an admission.
underlines the right to remain silent.
It's, yeah. So-
Remain silent if it's smart until you talk to an
Yeah,
attorney.
I don't think it's always the answer, but I think at least temporarily until you talk to an attorney.
Yeah.
I think that's your best policy.
Yeah, absolutely. All right.
Okay.
Sixth Amendment.
Sixth Amendment.
I'm ready.
The right to a fair trial.
Okay.
Right? So
Yeah.
we've talked about that, and we just had this last time. We talked about Murdaugh and
We did.
he got his convictions overturned for
Yeah.
Alec Murdaugh, and that was because he was found not to have had a fair trial.
That's
So
unreal.
again, this is rested in our Constitution, established 250 years ago.
Yeah, and that's just wild that it's still applying now.
Isn't that
Boom,
nuts?
boom, boom. It's
Yeah.
still applying.
So, the Sixth Amendment talks about right to counsel, which
Uh-huh.
we've talked about a little bit, right to a speedy trial, right to a public trial, right to a jury trial, and the right to confront your witnesses.
Right.
All very important aspects of a fair trial. So you want to talk about those a little bit? I don't think
Yeah.
we'll talk about counsel
Yeah.
anymore, but speedy trial. So
Right.
this one's interesting. I think we've told you before, in Pennsylvania, the Commonwealth has 365 days to bring your case to trial.
Okay.
So that means they don't get 6 years to
To sit on
find evidence
Yeah.
against you
Yeah.
and accumulate evidence. And the purpose of that is they should know what their evidence is when they file the charges.
Makes sense.
Right?
Yeah.
Because you should have sufficient evidence to proceed on the charges
Right.
when the charges are filed.
Yep.
And that ensures that you're not waiting around in limbo for a very long time waiting to get to trial. And this affects people if you're charged with a very serious crime. It could affect your job.
Sure.
So you might not be able to find a job while these felony charges.
Can you imagine?
are
And
pending.
also 6 years of that hanging over your head?
Yeah,
That would just destroy someone's life.
absolutely. You'd be ruined.
Yeah.
So at least you get that taken care of. Now, if you are in prison, if you do not make bail or cannot make bail, then they only have 180 days to bring it to trial.
Okay.
So it's a little bit faster.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
they don't want to leave you in jail.
Also
reason.
seems pretty fair.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
And I don't know if a lot of people know this, but if they do not bring your case to trial in that timely fashion,
Yeah.
you have a right to full dismissal of all the charges. That happens
Really?
sometimes, yeah. Where,
Wow.
for whatever reason, something slips through the crack and, the timeline gets missed and charges get dismissed on
Yeah.
a technicality.
Yeah.
And that's built into our constitutional system.
That's interesting. The next one is interesting too. Public trial.
Yeah.
Obviously, that's what we know. Was there a time maybe when they were just like doing it behind closed doors?
Oh, for sure.
See, that's just
A
wild.
lot of closed doors hearings, no right to counsel. You're in a room. It's quick, boom, boom, boom. You're guilty.
That doesn't sound
sentence.
above board at all.
Not at all. Absolutely not.
Yeah.
So yeah, everything is public. Now it doesn't mean you have a right to broadcast it
Sure.
live or
But you have a right to for someone else to be there, to
Yeah.
see it, to
And-
witness it, to
and-
know if it was not right.
you and the media know you have a right to sit in there
Yes.
in any kind of
Yes.
trial, any kind of public hearing. And that's
Correct.
today the one thing I had this afternoon before coming here. I'm just an interested party on another case, but I sat in on the proceeding because it's a public trial. I have a right to do that,
Right.
and it's important. The outcome was important to my other client,
Right.
client's case.
Right.
So I could be in there and watch it, and nobody could kick me out.
There's no exactly because it's a public trial.
Yep.
So a right to a jury trial.
Right. So everybody has a right to a jury of their peers,
Okay.
which we've talked about before. What does that mean? What's your genetic makeup? Are you male, female? I mean, it would be unusual to get an entire jury of all females or all males or all over 55 or
Yeah.
all under, 30.
Right.
It's generally a pretty. I actually like peeking in on court week to see what the jury,
What the jury looks like.
Yeah. And there's it's a pretty decent makeup.
Yeah.
We get all different ethnicities and male, female, ages.
So it seems like sometimes though that the cases do just get heard by a judge.
Okay, so that's true. You do in Pennsylvania. There's an option to have a jury trial, and there's
It's an
a
option.
non-jury trial.
So that is something that's on the table.
It could be, but I don't always recommend it. There's some cases that would make sense to be
Yes.
a non-jury trial, a bench trial.
Yeah.
And some of them you don't have a right to a jury trial. So summary offenses, you have no right to a jury. Some misdemeanor cases, like for example,
Smaller stuff.
first offense DUIs, no right
Yeah.
to a jury trial.
Yeah.
And honestly, those cases you probably have a legal issue rather than a practical issue as far as factual,
Right.
which would be better with a judge anyway than
Yeah.
a jury, because I think a judge is, and that's something to talk about with an attorney. If you are in that situation, you should talk to an attorney.
Yeah.
Whether a jury trial or a non-jury bench trial would be better for your case and your particular.
That's really
facts.
interesting. That's really interesting. And then the last one there, confrontation of of witnesses. What is that?
So say Joe Schmo, accuses you of throat punching him and
Yes.
stealing his wallet.
That's every weekend.
Yeah, so you go to the hearing and Joe's not there, but Susie is, and
Yeah.
Susie says, "Yeah, I saw it." No,
Yeah.
that's not okay. Susie
Yeah.
can't testify to that without Joe being there. You
Yeah.
have a right to confront him because he is accusing you of doing this.
Got it. Makes sense.
Yeah, and it makes a big difference in, cases where the victim, is, when there's a very serious case.
Sure.
You have a right to cross-examine the victim.
You have to.
And again, I'm not trying to trick anybody.
And you're not trying to be mean.
There are just certain things that you have a right to ask.
You got to know.
Yeah.
Because it's the only way. You have to think there's multiple human beings involved in this, and the one that you're defending is a human being too. They deserve a
Exactly.
right. They have a right to a trial to understand exactly what happened. And part of that is holding the person who said it happened
Yeah.
accountable.
A human being and a U.S. citizen. So as one of those two things,
Yep.
you have a right to confront your witnesses.
Yeah.
And I think that's again stands true. If you just took that whole example with John Adams,
Right.
Who knows? Like if they didn't have a right to confront their witnesses against them,
Right.
you're just guilty by association, if nothing else.
Yeah. So I'm going to do another check-in. So if you need to confront a witness, this is your girl, Wendy O'Brien. She's from Proden O'Brien and Lemontowski, newly minted Lemontowski, full partner down there. So congratulations to Sean. But if you want to get in touch with Proden O'Brien, you have legal questions, how can they find you, Wendy?
Give us a call, 724-437-3484, or come visit us at 99 East Main Street. We're right next door to the courthouse, 2 buildings up.
Awesome. So, and we're doing what we normally do, which is you've got so much good stuff
I know,
here.
there's a lot.
We're not going to make it. So I'm gonna make a call right now. Let's
Okay.
get through what freedom means in our summary.
Okay.
And then we'll go to a couple of things with Wendy and Josh.
Okay.
We'll do it over 2 sessions because the next time you're here, it'll be right after the fireworks.
Yeah.
We'll still be in 250th land.
Yeah.
Do you good
I'm
with
so
this?
excited. Yeah. No, I'm very.
And I love the fact that we used to have the same amount of information at the beginning and we get through the whole thing.
I know.
And now we are diving
we're
deep.
really chatting it
We're
up.
serious. I
Yeah.
mean, this is big time.
Well, this is fun. I think this is interesting. 'Cause
I'm
this is,
fascinated.
I like looking into why things exist. You know,
Yeah.
why these laws are in place.
Right.
And what were they founded on?
Right.
You know, they
Absolutely.
didn't just pick this stuff out of the air.
No.
This is
Which
why they're here.
which again, our country's pretty awesome. 250 years.
Yeah.
There's something good going on here.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah.
You can be proud. So what freedom means today is our next section. It says return to the Declaration.
Yeah. The founders believe that our rights were inherent. So again, you're human, you're a U.S. citizen. Government doesn't give us these rights. Government doesn't give us freedom.
Right.
These rights are ours because we are citizens of the United States, because we are human beings. So it's the government's job to protect those rights.
Okay.
And that's exactly what the Founding Fathers did. They are our Founding Fathers, our founding government, and they protected these rights.
Yeah.
They saw fit to do it 250 years ago. And, I mean, although there have been amendments and changes to the U.S. Constitution, these principles and foundations of the U.S. Constitution have not changed.
Which is incredible. And again, a testament to how much foresight they had to realize how important these tenets were going to be to us.
Yeah.
And you mentioned some of them right there. Whether it's free speech, religious liberty, due process, trial rights, it's all the same. The underlying principles
Yeah.
there. And government serves the people, not the reverse.
Yeah. Our government serves us,
Right.
not us serving the government. Think about that. You know, they have to protect these rights that are in place,
Right.
not us protecting the government.
Yeah. So, and then you have the summary. And again, in Wendy fashion, it's very, very well done. But as we celebrate Independence Day, it's easy to focus on the fireworks and festivities. But the true significance of the holiday lies in the principles our founders risked everything to defend. And that's important to remember, too.
Yeah.
So we're talking about this. Our ability to sit here and talk about this is because they risked everything.
They're living protections from 250 years ago.
Unbelievable.
We get to talk about, I get to go to work every day and ensure my clients have a fair trial, ensure they get to, confront their accusers
Yeah.
because of the U.S. Constitution and our founding fathers.
Unbelievable.
It is.
It's
It's huge.
yeah, and they're not. You say it here too. These aren't historical relics. They're living protections, which you just said.
Yeah. Yep.
I think that in a lot of our minds, and we talked about